Hey yo, this is Anime Addiction 00, and the next one that was in line for all these walkthrough videos was the Sacrier. They're kind of like a lots of high hit points berserker class, since they are best with plenty of health, and they get the most health out of any other class, actually, I think it said. And they can get more stronger the more they get hit, and even have access to their most powerful spells once they get to a certain amount. So I'm going to try and look at these spells first, since I'm not sure if I'll be able to show each one in order effectively, and I might end up using whatever just so I can actually get to them depending on where I am, and if it's still not working out, I'll just relocate. But for now, I'll just show you like some of their spells, and you might be able to see how they work or keep them in mind once you actually see them, in action and whatnot. So they have fire, wind, and earth, and fire is like their most damaging branch. The first one is a basic blood rush spell. It's 3 AP, so it's fairly cheap, but the thing is about fire spells for the Sacriers, they also hurt themselves as well. I guess the gimmick is supposed to be it also raises their anger, which is what may make them more powerful or save up 25 points in each elemental branch for their strongest final spell type of thing. It can also leave them scalded, so if you or someone else, like an ally, becomes flaming, they'll take damage if they're still next to them. Cage of Blood is pretty helpful for the Sacrier because they're more frontline fighters, so they don't really have too much range, and if you cast this on a target, the caster, you can no longer lock, but when your enemy moves, if they're running away, like enemies that run away, either no matter what you do to them, you'll pretty much teleport right next to them. I hope I can show that one, because it's pretty satisfying when they're trying to run and you're like, nope. Although the gimmick with this type of thing is you have to cast a fire spell. And it goes very well with Bloodthirsty Fury because it only costs 1 AP and 1 movement point. This is also a pretty handy spell if you really want to power up your fire, because not only is it cheap, but it gives you a percentage upgrade of your next fire spell. So it powers you up, and it's a very cheap one to use in combo with Cage of Blood when you have low AP for a while, until you get it all up there. Burning Blood is a very strong area of effects type of spell. It hurts you on all 4 sides, not like a whole square, but like 4 sides of you. You scald all your enemies and you become flaming. So that means if you get the you get the flaming status effect. I'm not sure if that could have sounded weird. Yes, you get the flaming status effect, and if they stay next to you, they'll take a pretty decent amount of damage. Which is a very strong spell. It's also very costly at 6 AP though. And the last one, which you need 25 anger to cast, which you don't actually use up your anger. As long as you have 25, you can cast it as much as you want, as long as you have the requirements for it. Like this one costs 5 AP, 1 movement point, and 1 Wakfu point, only a range of 1. So this one is a fairly strong one, because even if it doesn't do too much damage by default, if the target has more percentage of hit points than you, it does a lot more damage. So if you're getting beat up a bit too much, your anger will probably be up there, and then you can cast punishment, and you're like, well, you have more health than me, now you don't. Kind of like that, at least when it's all leveled up and stuff. Air is more about moving around the battlefield and getting where you need to be. Stuff like that, I believe. I'm already out of practice, even though I'm trying to do a lot more. Anyway, Reject Tattoo is a basic one. Has a range of up to 2, and you can just push them away. Push them back by 1 cell, but I don't understand the stabilize thing again. Sorry about that. I keep trying to look it up when I do. I'm still not quite sure what it means. But apparently it does more hit points if they're stabilized. Sacrier's Fist is like one of my favorite ones, at least in my opinion. Costs 2 action points and 1 movement point. Has a range of up to 2 right now. Has a decent amount of damage for it. You can only have 2 uses per target, and you can also still cast it when you're right up front, just at least for leveling it or for a decently powerful air spell. It kind of like pulls you closer and also damages the enemy, and as you level it, you'll actually be able to get closer by up to 4 cells. But that will take a while leveling it up. Assault also does more hit points worth of damage if they're stabilized, which I'm still confused. I really need to try to find what that means exactly. But it switches places with the target, and it turns the target towards you. So it's more of like one, kind of like traversing the battlefield and swapping stuff around in your favor. It's a decently cheap one at 3 AP. And the higher it becomes, of course, the more damage it does, the more range you get, and eventually, apparently at like 150, you don't need a line of sight to cast it, so you can switch places with whoever you want, and also have, much higher range in general. Right now it's not very helpful to me because it's only level 8 and I only have 1 range. I should probably use that more, so it's handy. Motion Sickness is also one of my favorite ones because it's so cheap to cast and actually has very good distance. You just make your opponent motion sick, and whenever they cast a spell, a movement type of spell, like if they're teleported and move, they'll suffer air type damage. So that means whether you force them around with some of your air spells, or if they actually use a spell to move around to get away from you or whatnot. So I just like it because it's very cheap at 1 AP and 1 movement point, but you can only cast it once per target, because otherwise it would be too broken, I guess. And their max anger one is light speed. So you pretty much just use it and put it in a cast on a destination cell, and sometimes if an enemy is in the range of it, you might hurt them. This one is still kind of confusing me. I tried using it multiple times, but I still couldn't really figure out like what's the area that I'm most likely to damage something, where exactly am I going to end up, because I point on the cell and yet I teleport somewhere else. So I should have probably used that more to get the hang of it. You can only cast it 1 use per turn because then too much teleportingness. This one's costs the same. Oh, actually it doesn't. It costs a lot more. This one costs 5 AP, 1 movement point, and 3 Wakfu points. Dang, that's pretty expensive. But then again, it can make you move, pretty much halfway across the field, depending how big it is. And lastly, they have Earth. Earth isn't really too damagey, but it's best when you want to be more tanky and not take too much damage too fast. So when you use Earth-type spells, you get a stat effect called Coagulation, and you get a temporary shield, which is a certain percentage of your max hit points, and it absorbs 70% of each hit taken. So it's a very tiny shield, and most likely only lasts for like 1 hit, but when you're higher level, it might be a lot better than that. And also when you hit them with Earth damage, you take away the opponent's dodge, so it's harder for them to get away from you if your lock is pretty good. So yeah, the basic one is Rocky Foot at just 3 AP, pretty weak, but you just need to kick them a few times, there you go. Crack Rock Blow is a bit more stronger than the Rocky Foot, but at 4 AP you can't really cast it twice in a row at early levels. You take away like 20 dodge at the current level, and you also get more level of coagulation. So the higher the level of it, the more shield you get. Lethal Slingshot is one of the few ranged spells the Sacrier actually has. It's a slight AoE. They just pretty much throw a giant rock. They also get coagulation from it, and they might even take away some of their max movement points. So it's a pretty safe way to get some shield up, or I guess try to get them to hit you, I guess. Maybe after you hit them, they'll get kind of mad. It also costs 4 AP, so not too expensive, but not too cheap either. Clannades, I'm not sure how to say that exactly, but they pretty much just stomp the ground and they hit stuff in an certain area line, kind of like 1 in front of you and then 3 after that. They take more damage in the first line than the second, and you also get quite a bit of coagulation from that, but it's also very expensive at 5 AP. The last one, which is my favorite special one because it costs no Wakfu points whatsoever, is the Smasher. Once you have 25 anger, you can cast that, but since it costs 6 AP early on, it's going to take up all of your action. So even though it doesn't cost Wakfu points, it still costs quite a bit. Once you hit them with the Smasher, you give them the incurable state, which means they have a lot more resistance to heals and they can't receive as much hit points with healing, and they also get huge levels of coagulation. Now I'll just go through just really quick some of these active ones, and I'll try to show you. Like I would show you in the middle of a fight, but since I mostly only have 30 seconds to talk, I probably won't be able to get out my explanations fast enough by the time the turn comes around. I think that might be more messy. Of course, I understand if you're getting bored already. Anyway, Attraction, I think, personally, is a very helpful one as well, because it pretty much just pulls things towards you, and the higher the level it is, the more range you have. So once you like max it up, you have up to 8 range to attract them by, and it also only costs 2 movement. Mine is level 7, so I didn't really fully max it out because I don't think it's really too bad to have it still cost 1 AP because I wanted to level some other stuff. But yeah, it's very helpful for things that keep running away from you and you don't have enough range with Sacrier's Fist or anything yet. Transposition is another one kind of like Assault, but might have more range down the line. Or easier to increase the range since this one you don't level up with use, you level up whenever you have the points to do it. But once level 0, you get additional 5 dodge, but you can only switch places with an allied target, and the range isn't very good. It's also kind of costly. But once you level it up, you have a lot more range to work with. Cut down the cost quite a bit, but I think when you use it, it keeps like a certain shape, so you can't just teleport anywhere, so you still gotta think about where you're going. At least I think so, because I used it one time and I saw the certain shape to go in, so I'm guessing it'll keep it, but it'll just be a wider range of it. So at max, it only costs 3 AP, you get 50 dodge, and you'll get 1 AP returned if an air spell other than motion sickness has been used. So pretty interesting. Sacrifice is more protective of your allies. You pretty much just use it on an ally, and max level you don't need a line of sight, it's only 2 AP, when otherwise it's just 1 range and 6 AP. You get sacrifice level equals the number of enemies plus 1, max level 7. So you switch. It works like you put this. Sorry, I'm having trouble thinking of how to describe it, because I know there's a robot sidekick that kind of does the same thing with their bodyguard spell, so if you know what I'm talking about, that's pretty much what it's like. I'm assuming, anyway. I haven't been able to use it just yet. But you switch targets with whoever you cast it on when they take damage, so you pretty much become their meat shield for a bit. It also helps you teleport around the field a lot more, too. Just this time you're doing it to protect your allies and then beat them up. Life transfer is pretty helpful because once you level it up, it can have a lot of range, so you can heal someone whenever, but you use a portion of your hit points. And the higher you level it, transfers more hit points equal to 2 times your level, and you also give them a level of sacrifice, so not only will you heal them, but you also take some hits for them as well. It's always cheap at 1 Wakfu point cost, but you just get more range and more healing and more level of sacrifice. And Sanguine Armor, probably saying that wrong too, at the moment costs 3 AP 1 Wakfu point, but later if you max it, it'll cost 1 Wakfu point. So just look at the max effect, because that always sounds better. It buffs your lock and doubles the level of coagulation you receive, so it's very helpful if you're going Earth and you want a whole bunch of shield. And also keeps stuff closer to you. It doesn't really sound too much at that value, but I don't know, I just really like having the shield to hopefully not die as quickly. And I guess passives, because they're right here, might as well. Passive is probably, this passive is probably essential to regardless what build you're doing as a Sacrier, because extra damage is always nice. But anger, this one does it so every 10 points of anger you get a higher passive percentage of damage up to a max of 10% damage per 10 anger. So that's quite good, since you're going to be getting anger anyway, you might as well make it stronger. Blood Pact is how they usually get most of their bonus hit points, I believe. You get extra hit points to this when you help protect allies, but if one of the allies dies, you take hit point loss. So it's kind of like, it might be kind of risky in a way, because you get a whole bunch of health, but if one of your allies dies, then you get a penalty for it. So at max level, for example, you get 400% hit point boost of their level and 160 per level of allies. Of their level per ally. But upon death of an ally, they get hit point loss of 320% of Sacrier's level. So, yeah, it sounds like it could hurt once they die, but, you know, it's still good for extra health. And the Moribund, this one is kind of like upgrading Berserker damage, because the lower your hit points gets, you get a bonus status to you, and it'll give you more lock and more damage. And if you somehow survive at 1 HP, you get the best one, which is kind of ridiculous. Very lucky, too, if you survive at 1 HP. This one might do very well with Moribund, actually. With Clinging to Life, you get pretty much a percentage chance, and at max you get 100% chance of impending death, which pretty much means that resist death until the end of their next turn, at which point they will be KO'd. So they'll become invincible for one turn, and you'll be able to deal at least a little bit more damage. So it might be very helpful with Moribund if you want to be a risky Berserker fighter and you want to work the best with the least amount of health you have. I don't think I could do that, even if it does sound strong. And Tattooed Blood, which I already leveled up to 10 because I like shields and stuff to feel defensy, or to not die right away. This one increases your lock passively, and also the levels increases to Coagulation. Right now it's only at +1, and at max only gives you +2, but also 30 lock. So at least level 10's no big deal. Anyway, let's actually try and apply this to a fight once these tofu stop moving. Or I might have to find something else because they're moving way too much and I can't even click on them. Oh, brother. Alright, let's give this a try, and I'll put this guy in too, just to be sure. Okay, so since I'm right next to them, I might be able to do some fire spells, but it might be too much damage. I'll have these guys down here to support me just in case. They go first. And the sidekicks are faster than me, and I moved when I didn't have to. That was dumb. Can I actually still do that? Nope. It's a whole bunch of bad decisions. I keep forgetting that if there's a height difference in the way, you can't do that. So since it's right here, and it's right next to me, I'll use this one and spell colonnades instead so you can see the area of effect. I think. Or not? What the heck is that? I'm right in front of it, but it's going sideways. It's supposed to go up front. So I guess I'm not using that. I'll use Blood Rush instead. I'll use the kick to give me a little shield. Oh wait, yeah, I am facing that way. Oh god, I'm retarded. Just to help me a little bit. Since I'm surrounded again, I'll probably do Burning Blood next. That does a lot of damage. I still can't get down from here, so that's kind of annoying. So at the moment, I'll go after the flies, just so they don't annoy me a little too much. Okay, so I either do it like that, or yeah, I want that. I'm just gonna wait for me to get hit, and hopefully I won't die. Oops. Oh well. It ups my anger anyway if I get hit. I really need to add... I'm not even adding block, but I'm blocking quite a bit, and I like that because I think I'm messing up a lot right now. It's like, if any of you are comment... Dang it! I shouldn't click so fast. So yeah, since they took that extra damage because I had the fire thing up, and since my anger is up, I can actually do one of them. I'll use Smasher. And at least that's one gone. And I can't move from down here, so I guess I can't fight that one cow unless I move a lot. I have to go over there. Crud. Oh well, there's always another fight to hopefully show something. I could use a teleportation, but I don't think that would work. Yeah, it's just... I should probably just pause the video and just show it when it's my turn. Is that a better idea? I have no idea, to be honest. Can I still move to... No, I can't. So see, this is where the cell is, but it shows everything in red, so does that mean... I'm not sure if where that gets me. Oh, it gets me all the way over there. And for some reason it only costs 1 Wakfu point. It shows 3, right? 5, 1, 1. Oh, I'm retarded. That's the range. Ugh. Wow, I'm stupid. Yeah. Let's see if I can get up here. Yeah. Just weaken him for me until I get there. I'll use this one, the reject tattoo, to get him away from me. And I'll go up here. And it's still not close enough. Does it count if I do empty? I can actually do it on empty cell to get some shield. Oh god, this is so retarded. I know this is... I can't do that for... Can I? No, it's gonna... Yeah. Why did I think... Okay, so... This isn't gonna work. I must just let the sidekicks take care of it. That, and then this, to hit them up close. That's the Sacrier's Fist when you hit it up close, so at least you do still have the air spell, like I said. Well, actually, if I just have them sit there, I'll eventually get there. Eventually. Come on, just make it. So at least I can use the lethal Slingshot twice, because of the area of effect it has, which is the big rock and you get some shield. Just have them skip their turn now, because I'm trying to show off as many spells as possible. Although I don't... Which ones have I not done? I haven't done Cage of Void because they're not running. Since I have the Anger, I'll do Punishment, even though it won't do much damage. Yeah, it's very weak because it has plenty of health. But I can do Motion Sickness also up close, and that'll take care of it. So yeah, I tried explaining everything at first, because I didn't want it to be too messy, but now I'm not showing all the spells I need to. Well, which ones did I not do? I didn't do Assault. I did that one. This one's just a headbutt. I didn't do that. I don't think I did. I can't remember already. Cripes. I didn't do a track, so I think if anything I need to do some more of the passive things, but these groups are too big and it's going to take too long. Oh, wait. No. Oh, God. So I'll be right back until I find a suitable group. Well, that didn't take long. I'll just fight one of these, because these things hurt a lot and they have a lot of health. So hopefully I can show off some stuff with them without dying too soon. I'll have you poke them a little bit, just to help, because they hurt a lot. Okay, so, here's one. The attraction is very helpful. I can go pretty far, up to 7 right now. If I were to use Motion Sickness before then, because I had the movement points, he will have taken damage just from moving. Also, if I use Assault, so I'll show that. Motion Sickness, then Assault. And they take extra damage because I forced them to move. So that's pretty much how it works. I can't use Life Transfer because he's too far. So which other one did I not do? I'll use... Let's see if I can do it. Ouch! It just sounds really gross and painful. Anyway. Oh, I can't use it because it already has Sacrifice on it. Okay. So, I'll just... Oh, well, I didn't think that would kill him. I am not doing too well with trying to draw this out. So I'll just get another one of these. This time I should just have my sidekicks be meat shields and do nothing. Just distract them. Yeah. Alright, so... Holy crap, my anger's already so high. Just from getting hit once. Okay, so which one did I not show? Well, first I'll do Motion Sickness, and I'll pull them up close to me. Just for a little bit extra damage. have my sidekicks help if I'm gonna die. So... Okay, so... Which one did I not do now? I did that one. I didn't do this one, I think. So it does 3 behind you, that's what I meant to call it. Yeah, be angry, little bird. You're not really scaring me. That hurts, though. Jeez. Shouldn't you have taken damage from that because you used a spell to move? I call bull crap. Alright, so let's try to get him up here. Use this. Then I'll use Cage of Blood because he should run away from me. Or not? Really? Oh wait, there you go. Okay. See? That's how it works, but for me it didn't work because it took away a movement. Thankfully the freaking bird can't get me though. Alright, so... I think I pretty much used all of them now. I think I did. Oh, I just didn't use the headbutt, but I don't think that's too much of a big deal. So yeah, sorry that, I'm not keeping track of everything. I thought I could explain everything decently, but apparently I can't really. So, at least... Well, I can do the headbutt now. Just... Yeah. Hard noggins win all the fights. So, the only things I didn't do were some of the, active specials, but I think you could pretty much get the idea of how they work, because some of them just give you buffs. Others heal, and I did use it. Sacrifice, it pretty much works with the bodyguard, and it moves you like the blood cage, but to help your allies instead. Well, that's the main point of it, helping your allies. This one wouldn't really show too much because it's so low level. I can only use it on allies anyway, and they're too far away. But you saw attraction multiple times, and the rest of them are passive. So let's hurry up and get to the stat parts that I think could work if I didn't say some stuff already. So as I said, since they're berserkers, or even like the picture says they're kind of berserkers, hit points are very helpful, but since I was messing around to try and survive, I also gave them regeneration, because even though they'll have a lot of health, I want at least a little bit of health back per turn, so I have some amount of survivability, but that's just me, because I do whatever I want with characters, and I don't care. I will say I understand why the Sacriers are so popular, because they don't seem too difficult to figure out, and even though I make my characters crap personally, because I do anything I want to, it feels like the damage still scaled up pretty nicely, even though I'm not really looking up builds and doing one pure element and whatnot. I might just go all 3 because I use whatever element I think is useful. Anyway, so yeah, hit points are also very helpful. You might want resistance down the line later, but at the moment you mostly want HP. So you can get angry more often and do more stuff, and even take more damage from your fire spells. Since I went Earth, I went damages and Earth resistance, and I started to get resistance and HP just because I wasn't getting much hit points yet. So that was just my pattern. Also depends which one you want to do. I think Fire's pretty popular because it's so strong, so... This one I gave initiative just so I don't always move dead last, but I think eventually there's like no way I'm going to move first unless I have a ton of initiative, so I just started to put in Lock, and I'll put one there again. Because Lock is probably pretty handy if you want them to stay up close. And if they do try to move away from you, if your Lock is high enough, you'll at least take away a decent amount of their AP and MP if they can move away. You can also up their critical hits, which I did do because I wanted something, you know, to feel like I was doing a decent amount of damage. And I don't know, just the critical hit noise and seeing you do extra damage just feels really satisfying. So if you want to go more damaging as well, you can upgrade your berserk damage if you want to do those 2 spells, Clinging to Life and Moribund, but that's really high risk, but also probably decent damage output, but you know, just very risky because you're going to be pretty much dead all the time, or close to death. So yeah, I think that's very high risk. Of course, you can always go more tanky and just get, I don't think you want block, but then again maybe, because it just reduces damage a little bit. You can also increase your critical damage with the critical hits that you're upgrading for more damage output. and more critical resistance and whatnot, but usually critical hits, critical damage, or maybe berserk damage. At least that's what I think. This one is again very hard because movement points and action points are good for everyone, but what you get first kind of depends. If I were to get action points, I would have gotten up to 8 AP if I got the full gobble set, which I didn't really feel bothered to do. But I got movement points because so many of the Sacrier spells take up to 2 movement points, and I couldn't really do too much, so it did give me an extra damage boost for that, and since I'm going to be getting the gobble set anyway, I still will get 1 AP, just I won't have 8 to do a whole bunch of stuff. At least that's, you know, my opinion. Anything else is just your preference. Pretty much here too, actually. But although I do recommend that Anger is useful for just about any Sacrier build you want to go for, because it's like their specialty, it's what they do. They get angry when they get hit and they get stronger. At least I think so. So, just depends if you want to go tanky or more damaging more often. Although I do think Attraction and Anger are like one of their 2 ones that are pretty much essential. Anyway, I think I said that too many times, and I should wrap this up. So yeah, I'm sorry I was really out of it, and it probably didn't go over too well, but I'm still going to continue with the videos anyway, just to get through every Wakfu class. And someone told me that the IOP and the Craw have been revamped. I don't know to what extent or if it's worth a video, but once I've gone through the whole rotation, I'll probably take a look and see if it is worth a video to see what's changed and what isn't. I'll probably do videos of those too before I stop with the Wakfu videos, I guess. Anyway, guys, bye.